Hello. Today we're going to discuss Indra Nooyi's impact on Pepsi Corporation and the effects she had as she arrived. What will we cover today? We're going to look at the background of Pepsi Corporation. We're going to learn more about Indra. We're going to look at what was happening with Pepsi Corporation when Indra arrived. What did Indra accomplish that transformed Pepsi Corporation? And conclusion. Timeline of Pepsi. In 1898, Pepsi was founded by Caleb Bradham to create soft drinks for consumers to purchase. Throughout the early 20th century, Pepsi struggled to grow and become more well known. In the 1950s, they underwent rebranding, which finally lifted them off the ground with new packaging and better advertising. So for the first 50 years of their existence, they were a pretty stagnant company, not really growing and not really decreasing in sales at all. They were just kind of staying the same. After they went through that rebranding, in the 1950s, throughout the 1960s and 80s, then Pepsi was at its peak, and they became a major competitor with Coca-Cola, who was the leader in the soft drink industry for a very long time and throughout the 20th century. Then in the 1990s, sales started to decrease due to customers becoming more health conscious and realizing sugary sodas were not the best for them. Other competitors such as energy drinks, sports drinks, and flavored waters started competing with Pepsi as well. Now we're going to look at Indra's background. Indra was born in India. She completed her bachelor's degree at Madras Christian College. She acquired her MBA, which is her master's in business, from the Indian Institute of Management in Calcutta. From there, Indra accepted different management positions in India at different companies such as Johnson & Johnson and Mature Beardsell. When she came over to the Americas, Indra attended the Yale School of Management for a master's degree in public and private management. After she completed her schooling at Yale and had her master's, Indra then started to accept senior managerial positions as an executive at Motorola and Asia Brown Boveri. Continuing with Indra's background, after her positions in senior management at other companies, Indra joined Pepsi in 1994. She was immediately involved with different restructurings throughout the company. One example would be when Pepsi rid itself of KFC, Taco Bell, and its Pizza Hut restaurants in 1997. This was to acquire more buyback opportunities and get itself out of debt. After that, Pepsi acquired Tropicana in 1998, which Indra played a major role in. Acquiring Tropicana was important for Pepsi Corporation because at the time their major competitor was Coca-Cola, and Coca-Cola was the owner of the Minute Maid brand. So this way, with Pepsi now owning Tropicana, their juice part of the corporation could compete with Coca-Cola's juice corporation, Minute Maid. After that, Pepsi acquired Quaker Oats in 2000 so they could have a ownership in the popular sports drink Gatorade, which attributed more than 80% of sports drink sales at this time. There was a lot of analysts that were kind of questioning why Pepsi Corporation acquired Quaker Oats in 2000, but this was the major reason why. And Indra also looked at it as acquiring Oats company would give the image that they're going to be a healthier, more good for you kind of lifestyle. All of these were actions in Indra's major philosophy of transforming Pepsi Corporation away from being a solely unhealthy brand, and acquiring different juices, sports drinks, and then the Oatmeal Corporation was a major player in that. After doing this research, there was a clear consensus that showed that Indra was a transformative and very inspirational leader. This was due to Indra's 5 C's of leadership. The first one is competency. She believes there's an importance of possessing knowledge of the industry that you are a leader for. The courage and confidence that you must have as a leader. You must have the courage to make tough decisions and choices, but also you must have the confidence that those are the proper choices and decisions to make for the company that you're a leader for. Third one is communication. You must clearly articulate your vision and communicate it in a way to everyone so that they understand the goals for success and what your vision is. Fourth one is consistency. Must be consistent in your actions, decisions, communication, and your leadership style so your team and employees can trust you and understand why you are doing what you're doing. And the fifth one is compass. Compass is another way to talk about what your motive is and what your mission statement is. But sticking with the 5 C's, using the word compass, it's to stick to your leadership style for your set of values and your principles. This will help guide you in making the right choices and decisions for your organization. Next, we will discuss Indra's arrival at Pepsi Corporation. PepsiCo was struggling mightily when Indra took over as CEO due to society's mindset as a whole. Pepsi at this time had a struggle with changing and adapting to what society was doing. Everyone and everything at this time in society was transforming to be more health oriented. This affected Pepsi because their sugary sodas were far from healthy. When Indra arrived as CEO, she implemented change by taking action to make Pepsi a more diverse company with a wider range and a wider variety of products. This range and variety of products differed between the different types of soda that were healthier or acquiring other companies that have under Pepsi Corporation's umbrella, such as Tropicana and Quaker Oats, like we discussed on the last slide. These acquisitions gave the organization a healthier image in advertising and marketing. They viewed the fun for you category that they classified it as being their base core products, such as your regular Pepsi. But then they also had the juices, such as Tropicana juices, and then the good for you products like Quaker Oats. Another one that they had was for their other sodas that they started to create and implement that were not necessarily the healthy ones, but they were better for you than what their core product, their core soda was. These better for you products included Diet Pepsi, Pepsi Zero, Pepsi Edge, Pepsi Blue, all sorts of different combinations that they tried that were better for the consumers than the original product. Some other impacts that Indra had on the organization. As she arrived, Indra's main focus was to make Pepsi healthier to adapt with society and improve their sales and profits. Different actions that she took to do this and implement the change included acquisitions and introducing new products, like we discussed on the last slide, reducing salt, sugar, and fat contents in their sodas, reducing the portion sizes of some of its unhealthier beverages so that the customer is still purchasing the product and they're still getting their fix and fulfilling their needs. However, they might just be consuming a few less ounces of that product to help the customer's lifestyle and health. Also promoting diet products equally as much as promoting its core sodas. So instead of completely pushing out and promoting and advertising their core unhealthy soda, they would also advertise and market their diet product as well. Indra also led the charge of changing Pepsi's brand and their marketing. She brought in an Italian designer who worked with 3M in the past to modify Pepsi's logo and their image. This was important because by doing this, it kind of transformed the image as the company itself was transforming as well to go along together. They also installed an interactive fountain vending machine that remembered the customer's previous choices and suggest new ones. So as the customer would come up to this machine, they would swipe their card that had their ID on it, or an ID number on it, and then as they did that, the machine would show them what purchases that they've made previously, different flavor combinations that they used, and the machine would then suggest new ones that they could do, whether it's a different sugary option, a different healthier option, or a different diet option. A lot of other companies also had fountain vending machines at this time, but Pepsi's was different from theirs because Pepsi's touchscreen vending machines was more interactive for the customer, giving them a more personalized experience. Indra's perspective as CEO, Indra took a different perspective for what the company was selling. She looked at the company's products from a consumer's perspective to try and understand what the consumers might think when they're purchasing a soft drink. So on a weekly basis, she would go into any market, gas station, grocery store, whatever it may be, and just simply look at the soft drink aisle and how Pepsi compares to the other products that are offered in that same cooler or on that same shelf. This this is an important way to do it because she's looking at it from how her customers are going to be looking at it, because the sales and what the customers are doing are driving profits for her corporation. So to try and get in their mindset is extremely important. And she would also think of purchasing products as a mom, not as a CEO. That way she can get in the mindset of the customers, because parents are not going to be purchasing drinks for their children that are going to be affecting their health in a bad way. By doing this, she can understand what can be improved in the product from start to finish, from its manufacturing all the way to it being delivered to the stores and put on the shelves. This is a crucial component in continuing her company's success. In conclusion, Indra had a major positive effect on Pepsi as their CEO. She helped them adapt and transform their brand to prevent sales from decreasing further than they already had. She really saved the company in the early 90s and brought them back to being a major competitor with Coca-Cola and other soft drink brands in the world. How this relates to our class, one of the major ways is being okay with change and implementing change as a leader. When Indra arrived, she took action immediately. She stuck to what her leadership style was, like we discussed earlier, the 5 C's of her leadership. She stuck with those and continued implementing them as she was initiating these changes, whether it's the implementing of healthier choices, acquiring different brands to be under the Pepsi Corporation umbrella, or changing their marketing and advertising strategies to further reach other customers and a wider range of customers. As they change their brand, it can give customers the mindset that now that they have a new logo, they're going to have different products, and those products are going to be better for us. And as they look into it further, they saw that was truly the case. Implementing change as a leader as well. Indra went about this in a fantastic way by truly believing in the change that she's doing and communicating it to her employees and to everyone down the chain in a fantastic way. And Indra also took action instead of just saying what she will do to help the company. So as she arrived, she knew that changes needed to be made. Instead of just stating what needed to be done and handing out tasks to try and get to that point, she was involved with it from start to finish, which was proven to be a very successful way in doing it, and she was a major help in continuing and growing the company's profits.